We outside, but we're inside. It's late.
Hello.
We're out here. Late night show.
This is
Hello.
On the Scene late night here at Page Street Sound Lab with
Hello.
Carissa Des.
I'm pretty fucking Leon. We outside.
And we are here with our very special guest over here.
Hi, I'm XenoGee.
Yo, what up?
Yep. What up, XenoGee?
What's cracking? What's cracking? What you been up to, XenoGee? What you been doing?
Been chilling.
What you been working on?
We just made a music video,
Yes.
and I was starring in
Space
that.
cop?
Yeah, Carissa was the...
A cab, but I was a space cop.
You know, cops, it's different in space. There's a different
Yeah.
institution, you know. It's not as racist in space.
Nah, it was a dope ass concept.
Yeah.
So I was wondering about it because I saw like clips and snippets. Like, what was the whole concept? What was the whole idea of the video? I never actually got clued in on that.
It was kind of like tying to kind of my music and trying to like create, kind of like blur the line between like American music and African music.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to like create multiple strategies kind of to implement that.
Yeah, yeah.
And the video was kind of like I thought of a concept that would work for like when Africans see it, kind of creates
Right.
this nostalgic effect.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you watch the video when it does come out, like the intro, the intro of the video is like it starts with like me like acting with myself
Okay.
and like I'm recreating this very very legendary skit from like an African. Movie.
Oh, okay. Okay. So yeah, a little
I didn't know
throwback.
about that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And-
I love how you throw that in there too.
That's
Yeah.
dope. I
American
like
and
that.
it kind of like transitions into the song, and the song happens to be hip hop,
Mhm.
trap.
Yeah.
So it's not even Afrobeat.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of
Right.
like links in, but then the intro kind of gives this African perspective
Okay.
and linking with my like the story that I'm trying to tell with my I'm releasing a mixtape soon.
Yeah. Okay.
And, like so that song is kind of the part of the mixtape. I'm like telling a storyline with all the
Trying to
tracks.
merge the yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Okay, that's fucking dope.
Yeah. And you're from Nigeria, right?
Yes, I'm from Lagos, Nigeria. the
Right.
shout
So
out.
motherland.
so
Yeah.
when did you move from Nigeria?
I finished high school when I was 14.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Wild.
Yeah, and right before I finished, or after a little bit shortly after that, I went to Vietnam.
Okay.
Because you had a scholarship for university.
Yes, I got a scholarship to study in Vietnam. Ho Chi Minh
What was
City.
the what did you
was
get a
the-
scholarship for again? For robotics or
Yeah. My major was mechatronics and robotics
Mechatronics.
engineering.
Wow.
So yeah, went to Vietnam. I was almost about 15 or so at that time, and Vietnam it's a Vietnamese speaking. They
Yeah, yeah. Speak
Vietnamese.
Vietnamese,
It's
yeah.
an English speaking country.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was very very hard trying to learn communicate.
Yeah, yeah.
People there and
So did you
going
learn
to
the
school?
language when you were there?
Yeah, I
Okay, so
did,
you
I
can
did.
you speak fluently now, or is it like where you can kind of
Well,
understand it like me and
get
me in
around.
Spanish, or it's Spanglish?
when I was living there, I lived there for about 3 years, almost 3 years.
Wow. Okay.
And yeah, because I was studying in I was like learning Vietnamese and all that, studying Vietnamese in college as well.
Okay.
So yeah, I could speak fluently to an extent.
Yeah.
But I haven't been to Vietnam. I haven't been.
Yeah, like once
there
you
for
stop
years,
practicing, it's like that.
and I haven't
Spanish
like
too,
even. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess I
you
spoke,
don't really have to speak
Xin
that.
Chao, the basics. Back home.
Yeah. You,
That's like- that's
maybe
like,
it's
hey,
like
how
riding a
is-
bake. You
yeah.
just get back there and then you can just settle into all
maybe
that.
if I
you
get
know?
back there and then, tapping with
Does it-
the force.
Does it
Yeah,
come
yeah.
out when you're drinking? You just start speaking in Vietnamese.
Ooh, I haven't experienced that.
we'll try that.
I'll try that.
So you moved when you were 14 from Nigeria to
What?
and then
Yeah.
and to
I didn't move
Vietnam
I moved completely when I was 15.
when you're
in
15.
Nigeria.
Okay. And then you got your bachelor's degree there, and then you
Well,
got your master's in
No, I got my
US,
bachelor's. I got my bachelor's degree here.
Okay.
Yeah, I got all my degrees here. I had robotics, mechatronics, because I transferred from Vietnam.
Okay.
So
After
like
3 years there.
Yeah, after almost 3 years there, I transferred here because my mom lives here.
Okay.
So I transferred to university in Pennsylvania, and that's why I finished all my degrees and before I came.
Did your mom move here after you went to Vietnam? Like, did she move like?
My mom has kind of been back and forth here before,
Okay.
and and she moved I don't remember when exactly she moved here, but
Yeah,
she
yeah.
moved here at a certain time. I was still in Vietnam though.
Yeah, okay.
But
I figured, if my son, she's like, if my son ain't around,
yeah,
like,
I have 3 sisters as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
So
yeah.
my first elder sister, she studied medicine. The immediate elder one is a software engineer, and then my younger one is currently studying bioengineering.
God
I bet your
damn.
parents are proud.
Genius ass fucking
Well,
family there.
my dad is late. He died when I was 4 years.
Oh man, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's okay. It's been a while.
Been a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a long time. So what did your mom study? Like, is she ever go to school?
My mom studied business administration.
Yeah,
I'm sorry if I
got a
if I
smart
got that
family
wrong,
over
but I
here.
think-
She's a businesswoman.
Yeah,
Okay.
my mom is an amazing. She's honestly the person that the reason I'm pushing and I've
Yeah, where you
achieved
at?
such
Yeah.
a lot at a very young age. She's my hope, my future, my
Don't make me cry.
light. Yeah, she's she took care of like 4 kids after my dad died.
Yeah,
By
wow.
herself, and all of us, we all like studied, like we're just kids from Lagos, Nigeria, and we all studied abroad. We studied the best educations. Everything was she worked. She's still even working, and that's like my goal is to kind of like
Take care
hand
of
that
her.
key and be like,
Yeah.
you don't gotta work again anymore.
Yeah.
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 I'm just waiting for that, that moment.
Yeah, that's amazing that she's a single mom of 4 and all, the siblings you and your siblings are all like in these amazing, got these degrees and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
So have you did you grow up like listening to a lot of music? Like, how did you segue into wanting to become like an artist and stuff? 'Cause,
Yeah. Well, I think artistry is actually in my lineage.
Okay.
My ancestors that played music, made music, and African music. I'm from a tribe, specifically Edo State.
That's the
I'm
tribe
close
name?
to Bini. Yeah,
I have a
Bini
friend named
tribe,
Edo.
which is very close to
Yeah.
where I'm from, and like it's like very very strong cultural place.
yeah, we were talking about this last night, how there's like, we were talking about how there's not really culture in the US and you kind of like miss that culture.
And I've been to a few places that had like culture. Even Vietnam has like very strong culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thai
Food and
traditions. And
Yeah.
Vietnamese food like pho is amazing.
And
Right.
everybody's like, a lot of people are practicing it.
You gotta try banh mi. Banh mi is the shit.
Oh, I love.
Oh, yeah, I love
it's-
banh mi.
That shit's fire.
It's
That
probably
shit
not
is-
the same here,
Yeah, try
but
me when I make it food. Oh,
well, I've been telling you to
Alright,
make
say
me
less.
food.
Say
Come on,
less.
you should have brought it today. We would have been.
I'm ready.
We're ready for
Maybe
that.
I'm not. Actually, maybe I'm not ready. But I will eat it. Maybe I'm
No,
not
like
ready, but I'll eat it.
literally, people ask me what I want to eat, and I'm like, literally anything, and I'll eat it, unless it has walnuts or pine nuts in it. But what is your like? Yeah, what's your? So, what is your favorite dish to make? Banh mi,
Oh no, nah. Jollof rice.
Jello fries,
Yeah. That shit's fire.
Gelato
Nigerian
fries?
jollof rice.
Jello fries.
Nigerian jollof rice.
That shit is fucking
Oh,
good.
it's fire.
Yeah. I love that.
I don't know what
shit.
that. I don't know what
it's
it
so
is.
good.
Dude, what is it?
Yeah, man.
It's rice,
just rice.
tomatoes,
Yeah.
and, a few.
It's like a staple. Like,
Sounds good.
If I start going into it, I'm gonna get.
you get too
I'm
hungry.
gonna get too hungry too. So let's stop. I'm like, food. Tell me more. So when did you start making music?
I started making music like 11, like, when I actually started like making music and writing lyrics and all
Okay.
that around like
Yeah.
that, 11, 12. But when I when I officially like started making music and started want to put something out, and there it was like 20. It was about I was 15. I think.
Okay, so
Yeah, I think
you've been
I was
doing it for a while.
16, yeah.
You like
Yeah.
posting to SoundCloud or like whatever you like?
No, I posted that to actually Spotify
Oh,
and
word,
other
okay.
platforms and YouTube and but actually my first song was I took it down. Yeah, wait, taken down because I didn't pay. I didn't pay the yearly this year thing at that time.
Yeah.
That was like because I released the song and then I didn't release any song like that. I was just like playing around. Also trying to like find like my
sound
my style, my vibe, and
Sure.
yeah.
I mean,
What
you're
was
saying-
your the first music you put out pretty similar to the type of music that you make now?
Oh no, it's completely different. It's very interesting actually. I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know how to feel about it.
Were you making like world music or something? Like what was
No, it's actually like
It's more like
pop.
Oh, pop.
like
Okay,
pop,
okay.
hip hop, right? I think I heard some of it.
No, it was I don't think you've heard that one. I think
I
this
heard
is,
some
like,
of your old
the
music. I found
first
some,
one.
but
yeah, you can't find that on.
I have my
anything.
ways. No, I'm kidding. I probably have.
Yeah, I think the only place he's probably there is on YouTube because YouTube don't take down things
Yeah.
like other platforms.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's like it's got attached to. I don't even want to say it.
We're gonna find it.
But-
Yeah. So the type of music that you make now, though, is like hip hop, like kind of like trap, but then also Afrobeats too. And you have one song that's like my favorite song by you, which is called Joe's Illusion, and it goes from like hip hop, like trap type stuff to Afrobeats. Like it has like
Yeah.
a transition, and I've never heard that before. So
Yeah, that was
pretty
like
dope.
I made that as that was part of my my EP I released last year called You, which is kind of a concept I created from the Netflix show You.
Oh,
Mhm.
wow, okay.
And
Yeah.
Joe's Illusion and Joe, which was Joe Goldberg from You.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
So and it was kind of like trying to create a concept project of like in perspective of Joe at the same time relative to the audience and people like
Observing, observing the behaviors.
and, because the first song of that EP project was Youthful Infatuation, which was basically about like the initial stage of find
Yeah, I
boy
mean,
and
yeah,
girl,
yeah,
Sure.
starting
Yeah.
phases.
like how kind of Joe gets infatuated with something basically, and then
right.
it leads up to like this.
And he's always
storyline.
like, "Oh, I'm gonna be good this time." like,
Yeah.
And
then,
it kind
yeah.
of leads on to like the last song, which is Joe's Illusion, because there are 5 songs in the EP, and the last song is the first song is Youthful Infatuation, the last song is Joe's Illusion, which is kind of like more like a reflection of Joe stepping back and seeing all the damage he's done.
Yeah.
Then they're kind of like leading on to the Afrobeat, which is which was like a concept I just created. I didn't like I've never seen anybody do it before.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen Afrobeat artists like sing on hip hop
Right.
beats, but I haven't seen like any song kind of like transition from an hip hop music to like Afrobeat, like
And
in
it
the same
works,
song,
too.
and then
Yeah.
it blends in like you don't even
Yeah.
expect it, and when the drum drops. Because when I worked in this, like, because I produce as well, and when I was working in this, like, and I remember sending it to my friend, Josh, and he's like, "Bro, what do you usually do?"
Yeah.
It's not like.
Are you high?
There's
Yeah.
nothing here. It's
Yeah.
literally.
That's how like every time, a new genre comes about or a new artist that comes about that's like on a different wave. What do you think happened first? They fucking made those steps that were like unorthodox, and like people
Yeah.
were like, "What the fuck?" Because like you think
Yep.
back, and people thought fucking punk music was the worst thing to ever happen to music.
Some
and they're
people
like,
still
it's
think
never
that,
gonna,
but
it was never gonna fucking
Very
make it
influential.
about. And they thought hip hop
Yeah.
was the worst thing to happen to music, and they thought this was the worst. They thought everything was the worst thing to ever happen to music. Music is dead, and then. Guess what? Because
Yeah.
the biggest genre in the entire fucking world.
Yeah, and we talk about that a lot. Like you have to be unique to like stand out. And something that I was actually going to post today that I was just thinking about is that like a lot of people are afraid to go first, and everybody like wants to go second, like in most things, like trying something new. But the person who goes first is usually the one that makes it.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's kind of what I did with Joe's Illusion. It was like risk, even with that whole EP was like I did something very, very completely different. Like I made music that people were very familiar with.
Yeah.
But that EP was kind of like trying to make something completely out of like the current like industry scale,
Out of the
industry
status quo,
standards.
yeah.
Because like you listen to something like Joe's Illusion, you can't really place it in a genre. Because what would you want to say? It's the Afrobeat. It's not really Afrobeat.
Yeah,
Is it a hip hop trap? It's not really hip hop trap. And it's like okay. When I did it, and when you even do it, the satisfaction you get from that, like the creation, like what did I just do?
Yeah.
That feeling is.
I love. There's nothing better than like when you fucking stumble across a sound. Like, because you were saying you're a producer and stuff, and my whole thing is like I really just like to dive deep and like find some of the most obscure sounds or shit that you just don't hear in like music. Like almost stuff that's like not like damaging to the ear, or like so that's like shit that you would just dislike if you heard it, but like almost stuff that's like challenges your ear. Like it challenges it. It makes you be like, I don't know about that. And then like eventually you're like, oh wait, I kind of like that.
Actually,
Yeah, that was like 90s grunge for me. I was like, what?
Yo.
And then I was like, okay, this is my
that's
favorite
kinda
type of
how
music
I kind
now.
of pick like when I know I like something is when I
Right.
have that first initial.
It makes you think. You're like,
and I'm, don't know about
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
And I take it out and like maybe flip it or sample it or do something with it, and then
Like, okay. I like that.
The ones,
Like make it
you
your
actually
own.
want to like pick.
I like
I don't know
this.
about this. Yeah, I've experienced that a lot.
Yep. And then you have so you have your mixtape coming out, and you told me that there's like a song that you haven't released yet that you're like really excited, but you're gonna wait to put it out. Is that song gonna be on the mixtape or?
Oh, no, that's
okay.
no, not yet. It's
top secret.
It's still,
We got it. Something top secret
In the vault. In the vault.
You know,
wait.
everything I'm currently working on, and everything I'm currently working on it's kind of like leading up to that.
Okay.
You know, I made that first, and I was like, you know, that kind of when you make a song and you're like, oh, this is different. You know? I want to put it because like some songs you make are like, oh, I can't wait for people to hear it.
Yeah.
And that's the same feeling I had. But I'm like,
It's special.
But it's so special that I'm like, I can wait.
You want to make it like an intentional,
creator. And that's kind of like where what the music industry is leading up to is like, you know, like talent really, you know, matters a lot, but at the same time, it's kind of the marketing and the strategy of everything in general.
Right.
When I talk to like my friends in the industry and stuff, I have like, you know, friends that are signed to like major labels and, you know, just like friends who have been signed or like just know people or did distribution and stuff. But one thing they always say is the people who stand against the grain, the people who they notice are the ones who don't do the same orthodox shit, the same recipe. Because the same, you know, it's like if it's not like, you know, it's kind of ironic because it's like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So it's like if you do stuff against the norm, that always kind of works. But it's like there's so many people that are like trying to do the norm and it's not
like,
working.
Saturates the market.
Well,
yeah.
That's the issues. Like it's like, you know, the first time, you know, it's cool and you get you build up the current trend, the current hype, but then you now saturate the market. Now it's like
you can throw a rock in here, that John.
Yeah, and I feel like the people who do that are just the ones that want to make a quick buck. They're like, oh, I made money, and you know, sounding exactly like this other person, but I made it. But then either they don't do anything after that, or they change it up after they've had attention. Like that's another way to do it.
That's the strategy
too.
of a lot of people. You know, even like Tyler, the Creator, like his whole switch to like the Flower Boy era was like he was making all this crazy, like, you know, sketchy doom trap shit. But then he, you know, had a moment like, cause like even at the heyday of Odd Future when they were all still together, they had never had a song on the radio. Tyler had never had a song that was on the radio. Yep. And so he was kind of like, wait a second, like I want to be taken seriously.
I mean, look at his evolution.
It's
incredible.
Yeah, it's fucking, and that's the thing is,
and he estate sale, and it's
like
completely like
he's got all this brand. He's got you know, he's got multiple Rolls Royces now. He's doing all this shit, like
fine.
top tier, like really top tier artist. And you know, it was the moment that Pharrell said like, "Hey, dog." Pharrell Williams, he was like, "Hey, dog, what the fuck are you doing?" Because you know you can really fucking do this. Like you can really, you know,
he's got his own style. He got his own like everything. He's got his own brand.
And there's always room to evolve. There's always room to evolve, and sometimes that evolution can be the it factor. It's like once you get, because like once you get heard, and then once you get your bread, and like you can kind of chill, and then you like not chill necessarily, but you can kind of be like, okay, now I can do my own thing. Now I can actually do what I really want to do.
Right.
Which is kind of how MGK, I feel like, approached things, because he was like, let me just use hip hop to catapult myself, you know? And Post Malone had a similar, but it was like kind of the opposite. Like he was like playing country. Like he was a country artist. He was playing metal. And then he was like, wait, I can kind of do this hip hop shit. And he gets the hip hop shit. And now he's like, you know, I might go back to that. I might go back to the country and, you know, the other genres and stuff like that. Like,
I mean, I'm waiting for this. Is all coming out. I think album that is releasing.
Oh yeah,
next month.
Yeah, that's gonna be sick. I'm stoked on that.
Yeah, now that he has a kid, I wonder if he's gonna have a different sound or whatever. Because now he's like all skinny and like trying to be healthy and all that shit. So we'll see.
Good for him.
Yeah. So, what artists are big influence with your music?
There's a few. One of my favorite artists of all time is still of all time, like later in life, Michael Jackson.
Yeah, of course.
That's That's
Yep, MJ.
that's-
Yeah, we were
Can't
just
go
talking
wrong.
about that. I think yesterday, how like nobody is as big as Michael Jackson, and
Even
like
to
especially
now,
in like
even
other
with,
countries and
you
stuff like
know,
that.
Yeah, there's no one that's
even in the time
influential.
where we have Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, social media, basically.
Yeah.
And you didn't have that back then.
And he was still bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Everyone.
then I also said that back then there wasn't as much competition though. I mean, there are people who were great musicians, but it was harder to get your music out there. It's there's so many like famous or like bigger artists out there that I've never heard of that are making a living off their music and that have like maybe millions of listens, and I haven't even heard of them. There's just so many people that can make it big, which is great for the
I mean, it's kinda what
artists.
the streaming era
But-
did for music.
Yeah.
Just when the streaming platforms were introduced,
Mm-hmm.
give everybody opportunities to kind of make music, which is great.
Yeah, I give a
But at the
platform.
same time, it kind of like saturated the market.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Where-
there's a tons of people trying to do. Like it's like there's so many more people that are like trying to make music, and there's so many more people that are posting music. It's like music has become so much more accessible that it's like people take it for granted,
Yep.
and it's like it's not as rare to find a good art. Like there's fucking all these good artists littered all over the internet because everybody can showcase their shit now, and it's just like, man, how the fuck am I gonna make it out the hood? Like, fuck, man. But well, we make do,
We make do always. Well, so what do you have coming up? You got your album. Do you have anything else that you want to share with your fans and future fans? You got coming up or like?
Or actually, before I moved on, I forgot to answer the previous question. So,
Oh, okay.
my favorite artist, of course, is Michael Jackson.
Okay.
But my influences are like, Eminem is like,
Oh.
I love Eminem.
Eminem's
It's like
great,
my
yeah.
first
Great lyricist.
love
Yeah.
when it comes to rap.
Mm-hmm.
And then I love Kanye.
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
Drake,
yeah.
And I love Travis Scott.
Yeah.
I love Travis Scott music, and I love Burna Boy.
I was gonna ask if you like Burna Boy,
I
because
love
dude,
Burna
Burna
Boy.
Boy is so sick.
Yep. And,
Yo,
and
man.
Fela
Yeah.
is the founder of Afrobeats.
Yeah.
That was my music growing up, and it was.
I think there was some big accolade that Burna Boy just got. I forgot.
Yeah, he is the first African artist to host I think over an 80,000 capacity stadium.
Yeah,
He sold out,
yeah.
you know,
That's what. That's
Yep,
fucking.
he's literally doing Bad Bunny numbers.
Yeah. No, he's like the
You
like
know.
he's like the African bad like like he's
yeah.
on that same and Bad Bunny is so huge,
So huge.
so big, and
Yeah.
it's like he's brought like I feel like reggaeton and all that kind of stuff
That's
like to
basically
the
Drake numbers,
mainstream.
It's literally Drake numbers.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
it's fucking crazy because it's like he came out of nowhere and then he's and it's
but
like
that's the thing,
not
he
a
just
common
come out from
genre.
nowhere. So a lot of people don't know. Like Burna
Yeah.
Boy has been writing
Yeah,
since
yeah.
Nigeria for like
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Like, I think even
he's
before
like
even
older.
Drake
Yeah.
started
Yeah.
making like Burna Boy was making like fire music. He just was like in Nigeria and
Yeah.
like that. And
Instantly,
then
It's just kind of
broke out.
newer
Located.
to.
Yeah, once
The
he broke
US,
out
yeah.
to the world and the US, and then the US started gravitating to US, everybody was like, "Oh, who's this guy?"
I like how there's like as much more room for artists and people to like in this day and age of like completely foreign genres to the U.S. because like I'm when I was growing up I never heard like reggaeton or like Afrobeat or anything that are like that on the radio or like on Spotify playlists and shit like that. Like I never heard like any of that kind of stuff, but now it's everywhere and I'm like that's so cool because it's like we get cultured.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like it's like the best time. It's what a time to be alive because Afrobeat now is like loved worldwide. It's finally getting the attention that it deserved like a while back.
Yeah.
And like that's kind of like part of my goal is like Burna Boy and Whiskey, Davido, they've already brought it to the world.
We're saying whiskey.
Whiskey is there.
Whiskey. Okay, yeah.
Burna Boy, Whiskey, and Davido. Davido. I don't know if you know Davido.
I think I've seen seen like posts and
So like they basically like took Afrobeat and Thames. They took Afrobeat.
yeah, Thames is I love
to the
Thames.
wall.
Yeah,
And my goal is kind of I want to take it to the moon.
yeah, absolutely, all the way.
I want to take it out.
Interstellar.
The
The sky. The sky's not the limit. It's the universe. Beyond that, universe into infinity and beyond. As Buzz Lightyear used to say.
So you were talking about how you told me that you want to be the first person to perform on the moon.
Oh shit, that's sick.
Yeah, I
And
wanna
I'm gonna
have
be
a-
there with you because
Well,
I'll be your
told me,
manager.
you
still,
told
so.
me that you don't want to fly. You don't want to fly.
Well, as long as I can bring my kids, but I get claustrophobic,
That's gonna
so
teleport.
and also like I don't know, like having to pee in on a spaceship doesn't sound fun to me. But
I mean,
I
gotta
mean,
make
if I was
do.
if I was promised $100 million, maybe I'd think about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Musk is going to get it. It's going
Yeah.
to get up.
Well, I mean, they have the suits. You just piss in your suit.
if it's
right?
comfortable, then I could bring my
I mean,
kids.
just imagine having a concert on the moon.
Yeah, no, I'd be sick as fuck. You're floating around
and you jumping
in the air mosh pit.
Yeah, really, like it's going to be.
Yeah,
completely
that'd be
like-
sick as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely fuck with a concert on the moon. Yes, sir.
Are you coming?
Goals.
I mean,
Maybe we'll see. We'll see where I'm at.
See.
Yeah.
We'll see where we're at by then. I might be a grandma by then, but
Nah,
what is it?
I mean,
is it like people come back from
I
space
think
and then it's
people
like
already-
the time is different? So I don't know how that
No,
works.
no, it's.
I don't know
you can go
about
to the moon,
science,
like,
things like
Yeah, the
that.
moon's not.
not
Yeah.
that far.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you were on the moon for like a long time, it wouldn't change anything really, because you can get there fast
Yeah,
with
and, I mean,
Elon Musk's future
Elon Musk
technology.
is going to lead us.
Yeah. There's a little wear and
We're
tear
gonna-
on your
if
body,
we
but
teleport. Yeah, might age you a couple years, but
teleportation. I don't think we're close to that yet.
yeah. Also, I was talking to my homie about
never
this
know.
before we get out of here. I was talking to my homie about it, and it's like if like the beginning stage of teleportation, it's kind of crazy because I think about the fact that if we were teleporting, it probably wouldn't be us in our it would duplicate our.
I think the issue with teleportation is like the science behind it is you have to disintegrate.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's not you.
So,
It's,
so when you have to disintegrate,
Yeah.
then regenerate.
yeah. So it's not gonna.
That's
but
be
it's
you.
still
That's not
your
just
like
tech.
soul though.
Yes.
No.
Like,
No, because when you disintegrate,
Yeah.
your soul is invisible. Your body, your physicalities are gone.
Yeah.
So you have to actually make a tech that can probably 3D print yourself. or
Yeah.
Like
3D print your conscious.
generate
Yeah.
you again. You know? Like, so, I mean, I've thought about.
Can you
that
put your
before,
conscience in a chip and then
Would that,
Have
would
like-
that be,
That's
would
what
that be your
Elon was
conscience
trying to-
though?
you know, that's
Maybe,
what-
I don't
that's
know.
what
I
Elon-
don't-
I guess maybe the
send your chip
Neuralink.
and to a robot over on the moon? I feel like that. I don't know. I'd rather just live here.
That would just be like your
honestly.
thoughts or memories. I feel like conscious is like I feel like I don't know if you could recreate.
No,
that.
sick is if you can like duplicate your conscience.
Mhm.
Just like you put it into a robot, you can just duplicate it. So you still exist in your human body,
Mm.
but you can replicate it.
Yeah,
do
yeah.
it in the and then you can send the robot to the moon or whatever, experience space.
Yeah.
and you are feeling everything.
That'd be crazy. Yeah.
I'm just about to jump in a black hole and get there. Like once they figure that out, I'll jump in.
black hole. Spiraling abyss.
Yep. Well, thank you so much for coming by the studio.
Yes, sir.
This has been On the Scene with Carissa Des
And I'm pretty fucking Liam, but
And,
you already knew that.
and our very special guest over here.
XenoGee, Gideon God's power.
Yes.
right.
And we can find you on social media as
XenoGee on all,
everywhere, right?
and then on all platforms as XenoGee, XenoGee.
No space.
No space.
Got that right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
right.
we're at Page Street Sound Lab. Thank
That's
you to them for letting us utilize their space.
No problem.
Very, very beautiful space that you got here.
It's fine. Yeah. All right.
It's
Well, yeah.
All right.
Dope
If you-
ass, like
yeah.
dope ass place.
We gotta get
Yep.
you in here.
I'm like, this is. I'm gonna make magic here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
make magic here.
If you don't know, you're about to know.